not just 40 white or 40 black. But the thing about them was that they were all different. They were black, white, rich, gay, lesbian, straight, middle class, poor. There were Asians, Africans, Native Americans, Indians, and those of European descent. Even transgender. They formed a committee, and I have to laugh about this sometimes. They formed a committee because on that trip we had camera people on the bus, writers on the bus, Pulitzer Prize writers on the bus, and 3 chase cars with equipment following that retracement of the Freedom Rides. And one night, a young lady stood up and said, "We're going to have a meeting of just the 40 students. We don't want any cameras, we don't want any reporters, we're putting you out." And that young lady is in the audience today. She didn't know I was going to do this. And I want to ask her to stand. Jayana Webster from Memphis, Tennessee, who will be graduating next year. Just to give you an idea of what these 40 students will mean to this country, one young lady from Montgomery, Alabama, she's now working, she's a graduate of Florida A&M. While she was at Florida A&M, she would collect meal tickets from students. And she would take those meal tickets before they had expired to the cafeteria and get the food. They would put it in boxes. And she would take and put it in her car and take those meals to one of the shelters in the area of Florida A&M. And so she met with me on the very first day that we were in Washington. And she told me about this. And she said, "But I want to do more." And I said, "How many shelters are there in Florida?" She said, "There are 3 in that particular area. But I'm graduating." So we formed a committee. And today, I believe that those 3 shelters are being fed because of her passion for that one that she had. Her real passion is to work in Montgomery to make a way, a better way for young ladies who did not finish school, young ladies who are having babies out of wedlock. She wants to start a school, a daycare center, to make sure that they are educated so that they can get jobs and be dependent upon themselves. And so I said, meet me in the room tonight, and I will call Nashville because I have a friend who is vice president of the YWCA who works in the area that you're talking about. And so they met. They talked on the phone, and she was able to learn how to get grants and who to talk to and who to email and do all these electronic things. And so I talked to the young lady about a week ago. I called her. She's in Atlanta, Georgia, working in Atlanta. She's working, trying to get people housed, getting refugees in their housing. And I said, "We're going to send for you to come to Nashville, and we're going to have a meeting. You come up on a Friday evening, get situated, and we're going to work all day Saturday on your project for Montgomery, Alabama, to make a difference for the young people in Montgomery, Alabama." And that's just one out of 40. They all are doing something. Young ladies want to do something about the prison system and young people being put in jail and keys thrown away and put in jail on minor charges. Why can't we do something about that? They spend a whole lifetime in jail. And as thieves and crooks and what have you, but they come out that way. Of course, you know the jail system, the penal system is a big business anyway. There's a lot of money to be made in the penal system. But we're trying to keep young people, black, white, you name it, we're trying to keep them out of jail. So we're working very hard. And I know that these 40 students, I think Jayana is I say that she is the leader of the 40 because they've got their email address and they communicate with each other. And when I'm somewhere, if I see one, the next thing I know is they go in and say, I saw Rip in Chicago or he's in Colorado, or wherever I am when I see them. And they'll go straight to the computer and let the other 39 know that we've had conversation. And that's my passion. Those 40 students are my passion. I do know that on February 1st, I will be at Stanford University because a young man from Stanford was one of the 40, told me May 17th of last year, he said, I'm going to have you come to Stanford. I said, well, you better start making arrangements. He said, I'm telling you right now, you are coming to Stanford February 1st. And then on February 2nd, you're going to talk to the Boys and Girls Club in that area. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. His name is Michael. Michael is really something to behold. A very special person. They all are special. I just want to leave you with one thing. Starting in 1960, we were having 50th anniversaries. The 50th anniversary of the sit-ins. 2011 was the 50th anniversary of the Freedom Rides. We're in 2012 and we're still talking about the Freedom Rides. Well, next year, I want you to start preparing to go to Washington, D.C. because that will be the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington. At that march, 50 years ago, there was approximately 250,000 people in Washington, D.C. I would love to see that number double, even triple. Because we are at a time now where we need to let the government know how we feel. Because the government should be ran by the people, for the people, and not by big corporations for big corporations. So hopefully you will hear from me again. I spoke to John Lewis, Congressman John Lewis, on Friday about this project, and he said, let's get started. So I will be talking to somebody in this area real soon where we can meet and you can go out and get your people ready to get on those buses to go to Washington, D.C. next year. I believe the date is in August. That's when school is out, and it will give your kids a chance to visit Washington and be a part of a great reunion. Just let me say thank you for allowing me to be here today. As it was said earlier, I remember the time when I was in church and the choir was singing a song. And the pastor said, I'm not going to preach the sermon because the choir has already preached the sermon through their song. We're just going to do the benediction and leave. As I was sitting over here listening to the speakers and the dancers and what have you, I said, well, maybe I should just get up and say the benediction and we just call it a day. But I want to thank you for inviting me, those who were in charge of that, and hopefully I'll see you again. I certainly want to keep our relationship going, and I certainly thank you, and Jayana, I thank you for coming. I didn't want to let you know that I was going to pull up a surprise on you. And say thank you to all of you. And if you have not seen the documentary, please find a way to see it. If you want to see a little more of me, as you already heard, you just Google me in. Rip Patton, 1961 Freedom Rider, May 4th, 2011. And the first face you'll see on the Oprah show will be mine. And I just like that. It's, you know, I never thought that being like that continue to do all that I